to start your lesson Food and Health. Science from your term 1, third lesson Food and Health. So what do you mean by food and health, children? If you eat proper food, you can have good health. So if you have to maintain the health properly, you should have a balanced diet. So let us see how to maintain our health in a normal way or in a proper way. Let us discuss in the lesson. Now take out your page 163 from your term 1 book, children. Rohit gets tired after playing for a little while. He gets cold frequently. He does not eat properly. Some can play for many hours without feeling tired. She rarely falls ill. She has balanced healthy meals. We should be like Soma. We must eat wholesome food to keep healthy. We must keep our surroundings clean. Our house must have trees around it. We must drink clean water. We must exercise regularly. We must rest properly. Thus, to stay healthy, our body needs a balanced diet, regular exercise, enough rest, protection from diseases. Now see here, they gave some examples. There are two children. One is Roma, one is Rohit and other is Soma. So Rohit generally gets tired very easily once he starts playing. But whereas Soma the girl, she is maintaining the health properly because Soma is eating a proper food and she is taking rest properly and she is doing exercises regularly. So in order to maintain a good health, one should eat a proper balanced diet, children. We should have proper rest and we should keep our surroundings clean and we should do exercises regularly. Now what do you mean by balanced diet? Our food contains nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals and vitamins. Am I right? So whatever the food we are eating, it contains nutrients. So what are those nutrients? Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals. It also contains roughage and water. So our diet also consists of roughage. Roughage is nothing but the fiber food and water. So a balanced diet has the right amounts of all these nutrients. If a diet has equal amounts of all these nutrients, so what are those nutrients? Carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, roughage and water, such diet is called as the balanced diet. Carbohydrates gives us energy to work and play. So what does the carbohydrates helps us to do? It gives us energy to work and play. Some good sources of carbohydrates. So what are the sources of carbohydrates? Cereals, pulses, sweet potato and sugar. So cereals, pulses, sweet potato and sugars are the sources of carbohydrates. Proteins help us to grow. So what do proteins do? They help us to grow. Milk and its products, eggs, meat and pulses are rich in protein. So what are the food items that are rich in proteins? Milk products, eggs, meat and pulses. They are rich in proteins. Fats gives us more energy than carbohydrates. So whatever the fats are there, they give more energy than the carbohydrates. Vegetable, oil, butter and ghee, they are rich in fats. Vitamins keep our body fit, improve appetite and increase the body's ability to fight diseases. So how does the vitamins helps us, children? It helps us to keep the body fit and also it improves appetite. Appetite in the sense it improves the digestion. It improves the process of digestion and also increase the body's ability. It means it produces the antibodies so that it can fight against any diseases. Minerals help in the growth and development of the body. Minerals, how do they help the body? By giving growth and development to the body. Fresh fruits and vegetables are good sources of vitamins and minerals. So the fruits and the vegetables you should make as a part of your lunch or a dinner, children, because they are the rich sources of vitamins and minerals. Roughage in certain vegetables and fruits help the body to get rid of undigested food. I said roughage is nothing but the fiber food. Fiber food will helps you from the problem of indigestion. Okay, food must be cooked with care so that its nutritional value is not lost. Whatever the food you are preparing, it should not lose its nutritional value. You have to take care while cooking the food. You should not boil the food for too much. If you are boiling the food for longer time, the nutritional values will get away. It gets absorbed. So we need to take lot of care while doing while cooking the food. Like we should not cook the food even for the deep fry. We shouldn't fry the food deeply, or we shouldn't overboil the food also. Cereals, pulses and vegetables should be cooked in water in which they have been soaked. This water contains dissolved vitamins. So in whatever the water you are soaking these vegetables or the fruits, you have to cook in that particular pulses and vegetables. Pulses and vegetables, after washing them, in which water you are soaking, with that water itself you have to cook. After that soaking, if you remove the soaked water, all the minerals whatever have been absorbed will be waste. So when you are cooking with the same soaked water, the nutritional values will be gaining in that food itself. Next, this water contains dissolved vitamin. All the vitamins in that soaked water will be left over like that itself, so that it will be useful to you. So whatever the pulses and vegetables you have soaked, with that particular water itself you have to cook the food, children. Keep fit. Muscles become weak and flabby if they are not used for a long time. Now nowadays you are at home, there is no exercise, you are not coming to school, all the time you are taking your mobiles and watching, you are sleeping on the bed, am I right? So that is also not good for the health, children. What happens when you are taking rest for a longer time, the muscles will become flabby and weak. Like even if you do a small work also, the muscles start paining. Regular exercise helps to develop and tone up your muscles. During exercise, air is pumped in and out of the lungs at a faster rate. Thus, more oxygen is taken in and more carbon dioxide and water vapor are given out. So, regular exercise is very important for us to keep our body fit. When you are doing exercise, you are taking oxygen more. The lungs acts as an important part over here. When you are doing your exercises, you are taking oxygen more, which you are leaving out the carbon dioxide more. Due to this, you can make you can keep your health fit and fine. Exercise helps the nervous system by supplying more oxygen to the brain. So what is this? Heart also beats faster when you are doing the exercises, and the nervous system also gets more amount of oxygen. So oxygen is required to all parts of the body in order to be fit. We must play outdoor games to keep our body fit. I can understand nowadays you people are not allowed to go out and play. Instead, you can do the exercises at home so that you can make your body fit. Posture is the position in which we hold our body when we sit, stand or move. What is a posture? It is a position when you are sitting, standing or sleeping or moving. Posture is very important. Now I am standing. I am standing erect and I am teaching. If I fall and I teach you, my back will ache. Am I right? So posture is very important to everybody. When you are sitting, standing, see that you are making your backbone erect and straight. We must sit and stand straight. We must walk upright. When you are walking also, you should be straight and you should walk. You shouldn't bend towards or forward and walk. Correct posture gives a graceful appearance to our body. So when you are walking or doing the work with the correct posture, it gives you a good appearance to your body. It improves the flexibility of the joints. So flexibility comes to the joints. That is the importance of the posture. Now enough rest. Proper rest and regular hours of sleep relax our muscles and give our body much needed rest. We feel fresh and are ready to work again. We can work more efficiently. Sleep also gives our body time for growth and repairing its cells. Now enough rest. You need to take, so you will be doing all the time work or you will be playing, right? So if you don't have the proper rest, children, it will be tough for you to do the other activities. Rest again, it doesn't mean like from the day till night you are sleeping. No, rest, enough rest should be there to the body. Okay, so what did you learn in this lesson? What is a balanced diet and how exercise is very important to you? What is the importance of carbohydrates, vitamins, vitamins, roughage, minerals, alright, and how you are supposed to keep your body fit and rest. All these things we have discussed in this lesson. Left over, the other part will continue the next session. Fine children, in the previous lesson we have learned how to keep ourselves fit and fine by having a balanced diet. Now let us continue our lesson with diseases. Now we are going to learn what varieties of diseases we have. Okay, when we are sick, neither our body nor our mind is at ease. So whenever you feel sick, will you be active? Can you do any work? No. A disease is an abnormal condition in which the body is not able to function properly. So disease is abnormal condition. It means that you will be not active all the time whenever you are sick, and most of the body parts may not function properly. If you have fever, can you run faster, children? No. Am I right? So disease is nothing but abnormal, that is not in a good condition. Your body is not in a good condition. Diseases can occur due to many reasons. There are many reasons for the disease to occur. So some disease like diabetes or arthritis are caused when a particular part of a body stops functioning properly. So these diseases like diabetes or arthritis, these are the two diseases that causes when one particular part of our body stops working. Deficiency or lack of particular minerals or vitamins in the body can also causes diseases. So if you are not taking properly, like right amount of carbohydrates or right amount of vitamins and minerals, that also causes diseases. They are called deficiency diseases. So the diseases that are caused due to lack of vitamins or minerals, they are called as the deficiency diseases. Diseases can be broadly classified into two types. How many types, children? Diseases can be classified into two types. So one is non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases and communicable diseases. And diseases that cause due to deficiency of lack of vitamins are called as the deficiency diseases. So deficiency diseases are caused due to lack of vitamins in our food. But generally diseases are of two types, non-communicable and communicable. Now let us see about non-communicable diseases. These are diseases that are not passed from one person to another. Some non-communicable diseases are night blindness, beriberi, scurvy, rickets and anemia. So the diseases that will not spread from one person to the other person, they are non-communicable diseases. For example, what they are? Night blindness, rechikati, beriberi, scurvy, rickets and anemia. Night blindness is caused by the deficiency of vitamin E. If you have deficiency in vitamin A, you will be having night blindness. Green leafy vegetables, mango, papaya, tomato, butter, milk, fish and egg yolk are rich sources of vitamin A. In night blindness, the patient cannot see in dim light. So generally night blindness is caused due to deficiency of vitamin A, children. So in order to have right amount of vitamin A, you are supposed to eat green leafy vegetables, mango, papaya, tomato, butter, milk, fish and eggs. These are the rich sources of vitamin A and proteins also. So generally in this night blindness, people cannot see in the dim light. Like during the after 6 o'clock, these people cannot see. But in the morning, their eyesight will be proper. Next, beriberi. Beriberi is caused due to the deficiency in vitamin B1. Deficiency of vitamin A is night blindness. Deficiency of vitamin B1 is beriberi. So what are that? Vitamin B is present in unpolished rice, milk, meat, peas, cereals and green vegetables. So what are the sources of vitamin B, children? Unpolished rice, milk, meat, peas, cereals and green vegetables are the sources of vitamin B. So deficiency of vitamin B1 causes beriberi. Next, scurvy. Scurvy is caused due to the deficiency of vitamin C. Bleeding of gums and swelling of joints are the result from scurvy. So what do you mean by scurvy? There will be bleeding in your gums of your teeth and also swelling of the joints. In the joints you will get the swelling, children. So this is nothing but the scurvy. So what are the sources of food for vitamin C? Citrus fruit, like all juices fruit. Vitamin C fruits, tomato, amla, green leafy vegetables, potatoes, sprouted grains and pulses. So what are the sources of vitamin C? Citrus fruits, amla, tomato, green leafy vegetables, potato and sprouted grains and pulses. Then rickets. Rickets is caused due to the deficiency vitamin D. Vitamin D along with the minerals, calcium and phosphorus makes our bones and teeth hard and strong. Calcium comes from milk and its products. If we don't have proper vitamin D in our body, children, you will get the joint pains and also you will get the rickets. Okay, so calcium is also very important to the bone. So in order to get the calcium, milk is the rich source of vitamin D or calcium. Next, goiter. Goiter is caused by deficiency of iodine. So goiter is called due to the deficiency of iodine you will get the goiter. In goiter, a gland in the neck region swells. So one part of the neck, the gland in the neck, it swells. Goiter can be prevented using iodized salt. So you have to see that proper amount of salt is also important in the food you are eating. Seafood, generally fishes, seafood like crab or prawns or fish, whatever you eat, they are the rich sources of this iodized salt and they are rich sources of iodine. Next, anemia. Anemia is caused by the deficiency of iron in food. In anemia, the hemoglobin in the food becomes low. So if the amount of hemoglobin or if the percentage of blood is less in our body, it means it causes the disease called anemia. So the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood reduces. Iron is present in dates, apples, bananas, guavas, spinach, brinjal, pulses, jaggery, meat and liver. So these all are the rich sources of food. If you eat, you can avoid getting the anemia. So what all the diseases we have discussed, children, they all are non-communicable diseases and rather you can say those are deficiency diseases. Because of the deficiency in the vitamins, you are getting such diseases. So non-communicable diseases are nothing but the deficiency diseases. So non-communicable diseases are those that will not spread from one person to the other person. Then coming to communicable, this is quite opposite to non-communicable. Communicable diseases are those that spread from one person to the other person. So let us see how it is. These are the diseases that can be passed from one person to another. Communicable diseases are spread by microbes or germs. Generally, communicable diseases are caused because of the germs like bacteria, fungi, protozoa and viruses. These germs spread through coughing, spitting or sneezing. Whenever you are having a cough, you have to close your mouth. Whenever you sneeze, you should close your mouth. Otherwise, the germs from that may come out and it may be spread to others. Now, right now we are seeing the corona. Corona is also a communicable disease. Am I right, children? You have to maintain social distance. If you are getting any cough or sneeze, you are going to close your mouth, not with the hand, with your elbow. Bacteria causes diseases like plague, tuberculosis, typhoid, pneumonia and meningitis. So bacteria, due to this bacteria, what are the diseases we are getting? Plague, tuberculosis, typhoid and pneumonia. Protozoa disease. Protozoa causes diseases like malaria and amoebic dysentery. Protozoa are nothing but the like malaria, filarium, dysentery. These all diseases caused due to the mosquito bites. Viruses cause diseases like common cold, polio, chickenpox and measles. So viruses, generally these viruses causes the common cold, polio, chickenpox and measles. Some of the ways in which these diseases spread are discussed below. Then communicable diseases, how do they spread, children? Communicable diseases generally are produced or they are caused due to the germs, bacteria, protozoa and virus. Got it? Now, communicable diseases are spread in 4 ways. What are those? Through direct contact, through infected food and water, through the air we breathe, and through the insects. So, through direct contact, many diseases like common cold. When you are having a sneeze, when you cover this hand, you have to wash your hand again. If you doesn't close the mouth, what happens? The bacteria from one person, it goes to the other person. So this is through direct contact. So what are the diseases that causes to the direct contact? Common cold, chicken pox, measles, ringworm, whooping cough and scarlet fever spread through the direct contact, either through clothing or other articles by the sick person. So like these are the communicable diseases, children, and in the next class we will discuss the 4 methods. How do they spread? Okay, children, in your previous class, what did you learn? You learned about the communicable diseases that spread through the virus, bacteria, protozoa virus and the germs. Okay, so now we are going to learn what are the 4 methods like these communicable diseases will spread from one person to the other person. So we learned like communicable diseases passes from one person to the other person. Now what are the 4 ways that spread from one person to the other one? So through direct contact. So through direct contact, what are the diseases? Common cold, chicken pox, measles, ringworm, whooping cough and scarlet fever. They spread from one person to the other person through direct contact. It means like suppose a person has a chicken pox and he is wearing a dress. Alright. Now if you are wearing the same dress, then immediately you will be affected with the diseases. So this spread either through the direct contact or either through clothing or the other articles. So you should be very careful enough when you are touching any object. Nowadays, even if you touch any object outside, try to sanitize your hands. So that is diseases through direct contact. Next, through infected food and water. Diseases like typhoid, cholera, diarrhea, polio and jaundice, they spread by eating the infected food and drinking polluted water. Infected food in the sense stored food, children. If you are eating the food that has been stored for longer time, then these infected food will affect the diseases, will affect your body, or these diseases like typhoid, cholera, diarrhea and jaundice, they are caused. Even if you drink polluted water also causes these diseases. You need to be very careful enough in taking a proper hygienic food and water. Flies and cockroaches carry germs and sewers and contaminate our food and water. So generally cockroaches and houseflies will be there in our home. You need to be very careful enough with these insect, children. So these flies, they carry the germs. So they will come from different places. So when they take rest on any food, what happens? They leave the infection there only. And unknowingly we eat that food. So we should see like the food, whatever is there in the kitchen or on the dining table, they are properly covered with the lids. If the food is open, you should not eat such food because the bacteria carried by these insects, it may contain in the food. Handling of food with dirty hands and lack of proper sanitization are the main causes of pollution of food and water. Milk from diseased cows can also be a source of infection. Now, without washing your hands, can you eat the food, children? No. So, you will be playing at different places, you will be touching so many surfaces. Without washing your hands, if you eat the food, the bacteria that is in your hands, it enters into your body through the food you are eating, thereby you will be affected with these diseases. And even if animals like milk giving animals, if they are having any disease, that animal's milk also you shouldn't take because the disease from that animals, it spreads to you through the milk you are drinking. So this is like through infected food and the water. Next, through the air we breathe. Germs that causes diseases like chicken pox, whooping cough, diphtheria, influenza and scarlet fever are present in the discharge from the nose and the mouth of the patient. So from the discharge of the nose, it means while sneezing, from the mouth while coughing. So the patients or the persons who have these diseases, they need to be very careful enough when they are sneezing or coughing. So whenever they are sneezing or coughing, they should close their nose and the mouth so that the germs carrying may not spread to the other people.
These diseases can spread through sneezing and coughing when germs are passed from one person to another person through the air. So example, very best example I can give you about this coronavirus. This virus also, if the person got affected with this, he generally, whenever he sneeze or whenever he cough or whenever he speaks, the spit that is coming out from their mouth, if it is taken by the other person, then immediately the opposite person get affected with such diseases. So we need to be very careful enough when we are sneezing or when we are coughing. We should always cover our nose and mouth so that the opposite person are not getting affected. So once you have closed your mouth or the nose with that hand, you are supposed to wash your hand properly. Simply don't take it out and rub it to your clothes. It is ugly and it's not a good habit. Got it, children? Now, through insects, diseases like malaria, yellow fever, plague, dengue and kala azar are caused by blood sucking insects. So obviously we know mosquitoes also causes diseases, right? Mosquitoes, fleas, bugs and sandflies. So these insects causes these diseases. In 1994, a large number of people in parts of Maharashtra and Gujarat are suffered from plague caused by the bites of rat fleas. So generally with the bites of the rat fleas, the people in the Maharashtra and Gujarat, they completely got affected with the plague. Plague is caused with the animal rats. Similarly, dengue fever is quite spread. Whenever the rainy season comes, we should be careful enough in our surrounding so that water shouldn't get stagnated. Otherwise, dengue will be caused very quickly, children. Dengue is transmitted to a person by mosquito bite. Bite of an which mosquito? Aedes mosquito. That is infected with dengue fever, and malaria is caused by a protozoan which is carried by female Anopheles mosquito. When a mosquito bites a person suffering from malaria, the protozoa are sucked up from the blood. When this mosquito bites a healthy person, the protozoa are injected into the person's blood causing malaria. See children, dengue is caused by the Aedes mosquito, malaria is caused by the female Anopheles mosquito. So when the person is suffering with dengue or malaria, if any mosquito is biting, so what it is doing, it is sucking the blood from the deceased person, and when it is coming and falling on the other person, again it sucks, it bites. So when it is biting, whatever the blood it sucked, that infection goes into that particular other person and he may get affected very quickly with this malaria and dengue. So this rainy season we should be very careful enough with this mosquitoes. Then through carriers, some diseases are spread by healthy carriers of germs. A healthy person may carry germs of typhoid, cholera, dysentery, etc. in his body. Such a person usually does not suffer from the disease. However, people who come into contact with the carrier are in danger of catching the diseases. Suppose we are very much healthy children and we visited to a hospital, okay, like where the person is suffering with such diseases. What happens? The virus or bacteria through the air, it spreads to our clothes, and because we have lot of resistance, because of our body resistance, our antibodies will fight so that the disease will not enter into your body. But still, when you are going home, what happens? The germs that have been carried on your body will be affected to the opposite person. That's why whenever you're going out and you're coming into your home, you should wash your hands and legs, then only you should enter into your home. Otherwise, you become a carrier of these diseases for the other people. AIDS is an incurable communicable disease that damages the immune system of the person and leads to death. It is spread by a virus called HIV. So AIDS is such dreadful disease. Once it got to a person, there is no curable at all. So there is no proper medication for HIV. We need to be very careful enough with such diseases, children. Okay. So this is about your this is about your communicable diseases. Like communicable diseases causes through direct contact, through infected food and water, through the air that we breathe in, through insects, and also through carriers like human beings. So we need to be very careful enough with all these diseases, children. In order to avoid non-communicable diseases or deficiency diseases, you should eat proper healthy food and you should regularly exercise yourself to make yourself fit and fine. And whenever you're sneezing or coughing, whatever is it, you need to cover your nose and the mouth. Later you have to wash your hands properly. Got it, children? So this is about your communicable diseases and the ways they spread from one person to the other person. In the next class we will discuss how to prevent this communicable diseases. Okay, children? Thank you. Now, in your previous class, you learnt about your deficiency diseases or non-communicable diseases and communicable diseases and the ways they spread. Now, here we will learn, in this class, we will learn how to prevent such diseases. Okay, now if you take out your page 168, we have this prevention of communicable diseases. Germs of certain diseases stay on the articles like clothes, combs, towels and toys used by a patient. All such articles, including the linen and clothing, must be disinfected or boiled to kill the germs. The floor and the walls of the room must be sprayed with a disinfectant. Now, germs, suppose a patient is at home. Okay, and at home you have any patient and he is suffering with some diseases, children. You need to be very careful enough in treating that. Like the clothes he is wearing or the comb he is using or the articles the patient is using, you need to clean them in a proper way. So whatever the clothes the patient is using, so you have to clean, or you can soak in a hot water, and if you wash it, what all the germs are there on that particular clothes or the items used by the patients will be killed in a properly. And you should spray that patient's room with the disinfectant material. So you have disinfectant sprays available. If any patient is at home, you have to use this disinfectant sprays so that you people are not getting affected with such diseases. All cases of infectious diseases must be reported to the civic authorities so that precautions can be taken to prevent their spread in the area. Children suffering from any communicable disease should stay away from school till they are fully recovered. So whatever the infectious diseases are there, that spreads from one person to the other person, is it through air or is it through direct contact, whatever is it, it has to be mentioned to the civic communities like even hospitals or GHMC people, so that these people can take care properly, so that the external or the atmosphere or the environment or the surroundings can be cleaned with the spraying the disinfectants. Excellent example, nowadays we are suffering with this corona, children. If any person got affected with that corona in that particular apartment, what they are doing, they are isolating that so that the person is not coming out and the other people are also not coming out. And what the GHMC government people are doing, they are continuously spraying the disinfectant so that the virus will not spread from this particular place to the other place. Progress in the field of medicine and immunization have helped us to get rid of many diseases. So the people started doing research and they started, taking out, or they started getting the good medicine so that we can get rid of this such diseases. We should make efforts to prevent the breeding of germs, personal and environmental cleanliness prevent the breeding of germs. Destruction of mosquitoes and their breeding grounds is the best solution for protecting from these dreadful diseases. Generally, wherever the water is stagnant, wherever you have a food stored for longer time, the germs and bacteria is the best place for them to produce or reproduce. They'll start laying eggs and they just reproduce like in a fast number of ways like this. So you should see that you're not storing your food continuously in your refrigerators, or the water you're not seeing like it is getting stagnant at home in the flower, in the plants or the flower pots. So see that the water is not stagnant in your nearby surroundings. Otherwise, this is the best breeding place for the mosquitoes so that it can spread the diseases. Next, methods of prevention. Houses should be airy and open. Fresh air and sunlight are natural disinfectants. Mattresses, linen and clothes should be exposed to sunlight from time to time. So that these are the things generally your mom does at home. So generally you should see that the houses where you're staying, it should have plenty of sunlight coming into that. Ventilation should be there, because from the sunlight you're getting heat and also you're getting the vitamin D. Vitamin D will comes only to the sunlight that comes in the morning, children, but not after 11 o'clock. After 11 o'clock, whatever the sunlight you're getting does not contain any vitamin D. A supply of clean and germ-free water for drinking and cooking is essential for health. Impure water should be boiled for about 10 to 15 minutes and then stored in clean and covered containers. Water filters can also be used for purifying water. Chlorination is a way of purifying huge quantities of drinking. So while drinking water is also very important, you are taking pure drinking water. If the water is impure, you have to boil it for 15 minutes. Whatever the germs are there in the water, it gets killed, and whatever the dust particles or any other particles are there, they settle down. Then you're going to filter that boiled water and you're going to store it in the proper clean containers. Germs in milk are killed by the pasteurization. So whatever the germs present in the milk, they'll be killed by the method called pasteurization. The milk is heated at high temperature for at least half an hour. For half an hour, they heat the milk on a high temperature and then they cool them quickly. This kills the harmful bacteria. So the process is called as the pasteurization. Breeding of flies must be prevented in or near your house, as they pollute your food and water and act as carriers of disease. Just now we have discussed it. That we shouldn't see like the food is uncovered with the lids, or there is no water stored for a longer time near your home. Otherwise, mosquitoes generally start breeding over there. Room should have wide screens. Toilets and bathrooms must be cleaned and disinfected regularly. To stop the breeding of mosquitoes, water must not be allowed to stagnate. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water. To destroy mosquito larvae, the surface of water in tanks and ponds must be sprayed with oil. Use a mosquito net or mosquito repellent at night. Kitchens must be rid of all insects. Floor must be swept every day. Drains must be kept covered. Now these are all the things what we have to do it regularly, so that we can keep our surroundings clean. What are those? We should see that our toilets and bathrooms, what we are using, they are healthy. Okay, and in order to stop the breeding of mosquitoes, we should see that there is no water getting stagnant over there. And the next, you have to see that you're going to cover the food with the lids, and kitchens should be completely get rid of, like kitchen should be free of all the insects like mosquitoes and the house flies. And the floors should be always kept clean. Next, vaccination. Vaccination is the another way of protecting ourselves by acquiring immunity against certain diseases. Now for corona, we are waiting for the vaccination to get released so that we can get the immunity power, so that we can fight against the corona. There are vaccinations available for diseases like diphtheria, cholera, typhoid, tetanus, polio, measles, mumps, meningitis and hepatitis. So we have vaccination for all these diseases. Pulse polio is an immunization campaign established by Government of India in 1994 to eradicate polio by vaccinating. So every year you will see in the month of January it starts, pulse polio will be there for the small children. Okay. From time to time, all children under the age of 5 are given oral polio drops. So children who are below 5 years, is important for them to take this polio vaccination. This campaign proved to be successful, and the incidence of polio in India has been decreased dramatically. Since the polio was a hectic problem to all these infants, like small children below 5 years, they used to suffer with this polio. Since there was no proper medication, then they have invented a vaccine for polio, because of which if the child is given this polio vaccination before 5 years, then the polio disease started slowly deactivating and the children are becoming very healthy. Now we are waiting for the vaccination for the corona also. We must get ourselves vaccinated as a protection against this disease. So compulsory such dreadful diseases, in order to protect, vaccination is must. There are national programs to eradicate communicable diseases. If we take care of ourselves and our surroundings, we can stay healthy. So many programs are taken by the government to give the vaccination to all age groups of the people in the society. First, in order to make ourselves clean, first we should see that our surroundings are clean. First, if we make our surroundings and ourselves clean, we can protect ourselves from such dreadful diseases. So this is about your lesson, children. You learned what are the disease and what types of disease and what are the modes they transmit from one person to the other person, and how to prevent the communicable diseases, and what is a vaccination. Hope you understood the lesson, children. Thank you.